मैडम इधर 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 मैडम इधर
नीचे उतरो।
भाई भाई हट जाओ, पीछे आ जाओ, पीछे आ जाओ, पीछे आ जाओ, पीछे आ जाओ। अरे हाथ नीचे आना यार,
हाथ नीचे आना।
अरे यार कोई नीचे नहीं आ रहा यार।
हाँ
ला मत मैम, यहाँ पे यहाँ पे ये अलाउड नहीं है, अलाउड नहीं है।
क्या?
Oh, off the joke, know your mind. Last but not the least, guys, we have amongst us Shaheen Bhatt, who herself has battled through mental health problems and is now standing strong as a poet, author, and a screenwriter. A huge round of applause for Shaheen Bhatt. तो अब सारे सवालों की जो कड़ियां हैं उसको जोड़ने के लिए I'll be passing on the mic to Arshi Sethi Shah and I'll see you guys very soon again.
Hello. Good afternoon. Afternoon हो गए? All right. So class में जब भी टीचर आती है और students फिर क्या बोलते हैं? Good. So आज हम सब so firstly thank you so much MTV for doing something like this. We've been speaking about it backstage as well कि how important this is. The most beautiful point is कि हम सब जो room में बैठे हैं at some point or the other we've all been students, right? और जब भी वो शब्द आता था एग्जाम तो क्या होने लगता था हम सब के मन में माइंड में स्टमक में थोड़ी चर्निंग हुई है मुझे आज भी वो शब्द सुनकर डर लगता है आपको So we all have that in common, right? So we're here today to overturn that fear because it is unfortunate that society has equated our self-worth with scores. ये क्या हो गया यार? हम तो सभी इंसान हैं and every human is unique. And that's why I have with us here our wonderful panelists today to shed some light and overturn this perception that number one is great. Asal mein to, if you show up for yourself every day, you breathe every day, in that there is so much greatness. In being alive, there is greatness. And let's champion that more and more every day. So I want to welcome all of our panelists and thank you for being here. I want to ask all of us here today, beginning from you, Shaheen, what has motivated you to join this course?
I mean, I think we all, like you said, I think we all remember how stressful or rigorous school was or college was for us at one point or another. And I think it was stressful whether you were a good student, whether you were an average student, whether you were a poor student, for different reasons. If you're a good student, there was a lot of pressure to continue to do well, to outdo your classmates, to perform consistently. And if you're a poor student like me, it was stressful for a whole number of other reasons because, you are constantly trying. And for me, I was a poor student, not for lack of trying. I tried really, really hard. 2 years in a row, I got the best effort medal in school. So I tried really hard, but that particular type of learning just wasn't for me. It wasn't my strong suit. And had I equated my entire self-worth, which I did at that time, with how I was performing in those numbers, it was a very poor situation for my mental health. I didn't do very well with that. So I think it's just really important for us to have this conversation, for us to talk about what it means to students, the pressures of school, the pressures of college, what it does to your mental health, and how we can't just constantly keep equating, like you said, our self-worth with that number. And I really truly believe that the scars that we collect in youth are the ones that tend to stay. So it's very important for us to not put students and children in situations like that as much as we can. So yeah, I just think it's a really important conversation for us to be having.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us. Anirudh, what has motivated you to join the cause and be here today?
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a real pleasure to see so many faces. Should I be speaking in Hindi, English? How are you all comfortable? If I reach your hearts faster through Hindi, I wouldn't even mind speaking in Hindi. Yet enough, I want to tell you, I'm here because I've been a mental health professional supporting the cause of student mental health since the last 35 years. I began my journey from Delhi as a student myself, having been through the pressures during those times, 3 decades back, to what it is a situation now. And we were just having a chat, how difficult life has become and how competitive it's become now is something where mental health has to take the front seat. And that's why I'm here today to talk to you all and see that though the face has been changing, yet enough, it is really essential that we all together stand up to this cause and support it. And school mental health has been my forte, though I'm a clinical psychologist and I support clinical issues too. But going to schools, propagating it to the student body and then to the parent body is what actually is my future goal till the time I live. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for dedicating more than 50%, more than 80% of your life to children and their mental health. Thank you. Anchal, what has motivated you to be with us today?
So I think it's simple. I feel parents have a lot of power over how children are. And if we can convince even one parent to stress the child lesser, and for that child to be happier, have less anxiety, I think we'll be able to make a difference. And I'd like to speak about how I was a child and I was very bad at studies. And I used to believe absolutely that I won't be able to do anything in life. But well, clearly that's not true. And I could only understand that because there were certain people who believed in me in a certain way, who were not my parents. And that actually helped. So if I got that belief from my parents, that would be so different and so supporting. So the whole motive of me doing this or speaking here today is that if one of you also can be kinder, nicer, not saying that parents are not nice and kind to their children, but just more compassionate. And if it helps your children and you, that would be great for me.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up. Ankur.
So, first of all, I mean, it's a great cause, right? That in itself is a reason enough to be part of it. But just like MTV, we also have a lot of young people as our consumers. We speak to a lot of young people through our social media channels. And it's just about spreading a message. And actually more than a message, an awareness about an issue which is actually like very crucial. We are most impressionable at that age. So it's very important to send the right message across to educate people. And yeah, we try to help in whatever way we can. And on a personal level, something very close to me as well. I mean, I've been through all those phases in my student life. So yeah, I totally get it. And yeah, happy to help and spread the right message.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. And in this journey, we need everybody's support because सब एक time पे बच्चे हुए हैं, सबका मन है. And अगर हम बोली और सोच नहीं बदलेंगे तो आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगे? Yes? All right, so that brings us to what has joined us in this cause together. And very correctly said by Anchal, we are here to understand as parents and well-wishers, support systems, how can we create a safe space and a compassionate voice within for the student. So like we saw, right, we do some of us like 90%, some of us we do And that has been the level that we've always had to achieve. Anchal, coming to you, what were your struggles during your academic journey?
So I firstly think that I'm not good at math. I'm not good at science. But if you're not good at math and science, you're told to do maths and science. So then I thought, okay, fine, I will do business or law because those are the professions only that we respect, right? Nobody thinks a psychologist can make money or a hairstylist or a tattoo artist can make money. But actually, they do make lots of money. But we don't know about it and nobody talks about it in schools. Nobody talks about it to parents. So the struggles that I had were that I was really bad at concentrating in class, and mostly because, not because I was dumb, but because I came from a very troubled household where there would be fights, where things would happen. And we think, right, you know, if the child is studying in the other room, we are fighting, something is happening, or we are having financial problems, that the child's job is to focus on the studies and it won't affect the child. But in actuality, that affects the child a lot, and that affects the ability that the child has to study. So some of my struggles were around that time. And also studying subjects I really didn't like. Like my strong suit is not writing an exam, it's speaking, which is why I'm trying to speak here.
And thank you so much for working on something that is not the most comfortable. Sach to yehi hai ki discomfort, and in discomfort lies our largest growth. So thank you for that. Parents, ek aur question sabke liye. Would we like if our child did everything right? Would they become better, more perfect and successful adults? अगर सही सब सही करते, हम बोलते हैं ना, don't do that, bad girl, bad boy, गलत है. सही करो, सही से बैठो, सही से wish करो. तो if our kids did everything right, वो better humans बन जाते. हमारी इतनी जागृत audience है. I'm loving it. Thank you. So Anurit, coming to you. Do parents often project their own aspirations and ambitions onto their children? And is that right to do?
So it would be a little unfair for me if I'd say that, yes, all parents do it, but mostly parents do that. So many a times you'll hear कि डॉक्टर के बच्चे तो डॉक्टर बनते हैं, engineer के engineer बनते हैं, artist के artist बनते हैं. And that's how it goes on. Yet enough, the truth is that right or not? We need to understand as parents that children come through us. They don't come from us. They're not supposed to carry on your dreams, aspirations, and what you have actually not been successfully achieved yourself. They are what they are with their own talents, passions, interest, aptitude, intelligence. And we as parents are actually we are supporters for them to go through their life journey in a way so that they first recognize and uncover these talents. They explore their own interests, look at their capabilities and abilities. Many a times we parents keep on struggling with them to make them reach the best scores academically, but they may not be interested. You'll be shocked to know, even now when I do career development with students, I have people coming at the age of 40 years when they want to change their line. They say that I'm an architect, I'm a lawyer, and like she was also just talking about it, you may want to do something and then decide this is not what I want to do. Because your passion and interest may not be there. So as parents, it's a real message for me, from me to all of you, that you may aspire a lot and you may dream. And we can do our own dreams and aspirations, fulfill them even at 60, because we are passionate about it. But please do not force that onto your child. Help your child recognize her own talents and actually explore that and come up and become the best versions of themselves. That's my real plea to all of you.
Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. Children come to you, not from you. And to somebody who's been very close to me personally and also professionally, somebody I admire for the human being she is, my next question is to you, my mental health champion. Your parents have had a prolific film career, and mom herself has been an actor in many celebrated movies. Much of your environment is also focused on visible success, you know. I mean, who understands it better than you, seeing people day in and day out, which the limelight cannot get enough of? Did you, Shaheen, ever feel the pressure to achieve, you know, extraordinary feats, awards, or feel like replicating your parents' success?
Yeah, I think definitely at one point or another. But I think like any child, because I think that's what we're talking about, primarily the thing that I wanted the most was to make my parents proud. Every child has that, right? I want my parents to be proud of me. I want them to feel good about the things that I'm doing, that I have done. And at that time, when I was in school and when I was in college, I think the only way that I felt I could achieve that was by doing well in school, by doing well in college, by acing my exams, by proving myself to be intelligent, by proving myself to be hardworking. And every time I fell short of that, it felt really bad. It felt horrible. And I was very lucky. My parents were really, really balanced about my academic journey. My mom always told me, she said, you know, as long as you do your best, any outcome is absolutely fine. You know, they never pressured me to be a top-ranking student in that sense. So I was very lucky, but it didn't, as much support as I got from them, that deep need, that desire within you doesn't really go away. It stays with you. And I just feel quite sad for myself as a child now when I look back, because I don't think any parent, when you hold your baby, I don't think you look at them and think, I will only be proud of you if you are a top-ranking student. I don't think any parent thinks that. And I think what happens is we get just very caught up in certain ideas of success. So when you talk about pressure to be successful, yes, at one time or another, I thought this is what success maybe is supposed to look like. And what I realized was that my idea of success was just slightly warped. I know a lot of very outwardly successful people, that are inwardly not very successful people, that are not very nice people, that are unpleasant people. So I think the question to really ask is, what is success? What does a successful person look like? Is it just the fact that you make a lot of money, that you do very well in school? Because I think it's so much more than that. It takes a lot of different facets to make a person well-rounded. And what the word success I use for want of a better word, but yeah, it takes a lot more than just one thing to make someone successful.
And that's so beautifully put. I think the pursuit needs to be one of excellence over success. Yeah, and thank you for sharing that with us. अंकुर सबको दही शक्कर खिलाने वाले. So, Ankur, I want to ask you, how has competitiveness in your academics contributed to your view of success in life, what we were just speaking about?
So I'll answer that in two parts. So competitive spirit, I believe, is very important, right? It's always important to strive for the next thing, to be the best version of yourself. And the second part is coming back to the core theme of the campaign. My issue is with, I mean, what do we define education as? Is it getting good marks? Is it me knowing 10 chapters of history, 10 chapters of geography? Or is it me building my foundation? Because when I'm at the student age, I'm building my foundation for what I will become as a person, down the line. So education for me is building that strong foundation, trying to understand, and it's okay to fail, right? I mean, if we are always winning, we'll never learn. And even at Epigamia, I mean, this cup did not come out right the first time. It took many tries, right? So I mean, it's okay to fail. You relearn, you redevelop, and then you strive to be the next best thing that you can be. So yeah, I mean, so my struggle was essentially on that, on what is education essentially, and how do I sort of incorporate the right essence of education. And so whenever I speak to any of my nephews or nieces, this is what I try to tell them as well. Like, do not worry about which college you're going. Do not worry about whether you want to take science or commerce. Think about what you want to do, and try to be that person, and learn from the environment, learn from your colleagues, from your parents, everyone around you.